Hey, what's up one peeps? So in today's video I'll be showing you how to edit or retouch a photo from this to this using Affinity Photo. Alright, so first things first, we need to open the software. Second, find the photo. Here's the photo that I'll be editing today. Drag and drop the photo. This, by the way, is a raw photo. In your camera you tend to have two formats that you can take photos with: JPEG and RAW. JPEG has more burnt in photo qualities, where RAW saves a lot more information and gives you a lot more flexibility to edit in post. So once you drag and drop a RAW photo into Affinity Photo, it sends you to the develop persona. There are 5 personas in Affinity Photo, but right now we're dealing with the develop persona. This is where we edit and develop raw photos. So head on over to the basic section to the right where you see exposure. I'm going to turn the exposure up a bit. Just to where I like it. 1.1 seems good. And then I'll go down to the clarity section, turn the clarity up, just a bit. That seems fine. Then scroll down to saturation and vibrance. I like turn up my saturation or vibrance depending on my taste at the moment for the photo. So I'll turn the saturation up. I like it right there. Blues, vibrance. Yes, it had some color to the background. Let me put it right here, like adding some color to her skin. Nice yellowish color. Nice golden yellowish color to her skin. So as you can see, there are some blemishes on her face. So in the develop persona, you have the option to remove some blemishes by using the Blemish Remove tool right here. Click it and zoom into the photo by holding down Option or Alt and using the scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in and zoom out. You can use the bracket keys on your keyboard to make the tool bigger or smaller. I'm going to make it smaller. When using this blemish removal tool, you need to highlight the spot and drag to a cleaner location. It works something like a clone stamp. Whatever section that you drag it to, that's where the section that you're coming from will look roughly. And remember, if you're coming from a bright area and dragging it to a darker area, you'll have a dark spot in a bright area, and that doesn't look good. That will end up being a blemish in itself. So what we're doing is highlighting the section, the blemish on the skin that we want removed, and we're dragging it to a cleaner section, a cleaner portion of our skin. Highlight the section, drag to a cleaner section. I'm still thinking about or taking into consideration light. Find, drag. Find, drag. Find, drag. Find, drag. For the sake of this video, I'll only be retouching her face. The tool that I'll be giving you today, you can use it on both the face and the rest of the body, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'll be focusing on the face area. Okay, so this is taking a while. I'll be speeding up this video. And also guys, while you're here, if you're enjoying the video, learning something, go ahead and subscribe. It's just a button, won't hurt. hit crop, pull it in, and move the back side of her head because I took the photo using a mirror. Do the same thing for the next side. It looks good. Hit enter, and now we hit develop at the top left hand section. Alright, so we've moved from the develop portion of Affinity Photo, and now we're at the photo persona. So what I like to do to start off any edit is to copy the photo itself. Highlight the photo, click Ctrl C, then Ctrl V. So for example, you're editing the first photo and you did something destructive to it. Instead of pressing Ctrl Z, going back through all those things, you already have an untouched version to go back to. Turn off the bottom layer. After turning off the bottom layer and highlighting the layer that you want to continue editing, go on up to filters. Scroll down to frequency separation. Zoom in a bit by holding Option and the scroll wheel on your mouse. So what this is, frequency separation. Hey guys, Editor Sheldon here. I'm just gonna explain a little bit better what frequency separation is. Frequency separation is when you separate a photo into a high and a low portion, high or low frequency. The high frequency has the information about hair, the skin tone, and imperfections in the skin. And the low frequency deals with, or has the details for, the shadows and colors of the photo. Back to the video. So by adjusting the radius tool in the frequency separation tool at the bottom right hand section, I can choose how much detail I want to be kept in the high frequency. So if I carry it up, that's a lot of detail. If I carry it down, less and less detail. But what I'm looking for is the blemishes in the skin. So we hit apply to confirm, Command 0 to zoom out. And now you see that the photo has been separated into a high frequency and a low frequency. Highlighting the low frequency, go on down to the live filter, scroll up to Gaussian Blur. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more in the radius of the live Gaussian Blur. Just turn it up to where you see less blemishes on her face. I think that's good. Yes, that's good. Highlight the Gaussian Blur, click Command I to invert the Gaussian Blur, Command O to zoom out, go on up to the brushes, go on down to 512, the softest brush, softest round light brush, hit back layer, head on over to the brush tool, head on up to opacity. I like to keep the opacity to about 40 to about 42. That's a good range for me. That's what I like. So what we're going to do now is we're going to paint the blur on the lower frequency of the image and remove all the imperfections on her face. Zoom in, and we can adjust the brush by hitting the bracket tool, the bracket keys on the keyboard, up or down. And it's about good. And all we do is paint in the Gaussian blur. Zoom in. We want to avoid touching the sides of her face, eyebrows, sides of her nose. we're basically just painting around the face and smoothing out the skin itself. So we're just taking our time and we're painting it, removing all the blemishes on our face. We're going around the eyebrows. Try your best not to touch the eyebrows. On the nose right now, we're just smoothing the skin. Just like that. So I'll be fast forwarding again. And there you go. And that's how you retouch a photo in Affinity Photo. So let's see a comparison. Right. All right. So on the left is the original photo. It's darker, it has a lot, it's showing a lot of the blemishes on her face. And on the right is the retouched one, after using the blemish removal tool in the develop persona, and after developing that photo, heading over to the photo persona and hitting the frequency separation. This is the end result of using these various techniques in Affinity Photo. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and definitely remember to subscribe.